This is why you might not want to go out in the wilderness alone at night. Reddit user Corey777 writing was out with a group of buddies in the middle of Kuna, Idaho. They were all having a bonfire together, but Corey said he was feeling down that night, so he decided to unload his dirt bike and go for a ride, alone. Corey says that he probably rode about 3 miles from the bonfire until he reached a small hill. He says he was just hanging out, sitting there for about 45 minutes. And he said that he was 100% sure he was alone up there. There was nobody around. From time to time, though, he started hearing what sounded like laughter coming from far away, until eventually it got closer and closer. He said it sounded like 2 to 3 people. It wasn't constant, but he would hear it every 5 minutes or so, and every time it was getting closer. He started to get a funny feeling that he wasn't alone after all. So, he decided to get back on his bike and get out of there. When he hopped on his bike, it wouldn't start, so he started to get a little bit scared. Eventually, he was able to get it running, but it didn't want to stay running, and it kept dying, so he had to keep revving it to keep it running as he headed back towards his friends. He says the whole time that he was headed back, he was really scared for really no reason. He had a light bar mounted onto the front of his bike, so he could see at night. Somewhere along his ride back, he started seeing shadow figures to the right side of him, in the corner of his eyes. But then, they would disappear. Eventually, he made it back safe, and nothing else happened. But he says that he knew there was something out there that night, following him, watching him. He didn't think much about it until he heard his buddies, when he got back, start talking about skinwalkers in that same area that they were at. Corey says that he feels extremely lucky that he got out of there safe that night. He says he doesn't know who was out there or what was out there with him. But he says the laughter, the bike not wanting to start, the feeling that he had, and the shadow figures are all things in common that he heard from other skinwalker stories in the area. He said it was a strange night that he'll never forget.